Good evening, everybody. We're joined by head coach John Bonner of Cal State Dominguez Hills, as well as student athletes Teagan Thurman, Asia Jordan, and Nala Williams. First things first, allow me to congratulate you on advancing to the NCAA Division II championship game to be played this Friday at Cooper Fieldhouse. We're excited to have you for a full week in Western Pennsylvania. It always seems like the teams that have the furthest to travel end up staying the longest.
Thank you.
So before we open it up to any questions from the athletes, we'll ask Coach Bonner for an opening statement. We'll throw it to the athletes for a quick question. Then after that, I'll pass around the microphone, and you can ask your questions to Coach or the athletes. So with all that being said, Coach, your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, a credit to Union, right? We knew coming into this thing, this team was going to play with extraordinary amount of pace. They're going to get up and down, and they shoot the three extremely well. And so the challenge for us was to see if we can take some of that away or at least disrupt them a little bit. I thought our defense withstood the entire game. We typically try to hold people 15 points a quarter or less, and we were able to accomplish that tonight. So I'm really proud of our team. We came up with a game plan, and they got there and they executed. They made some changes where they needed to without being coached. And so just a credit to them, their defensive IQ, and their will to get the victory today.
Athletes, the beginning of that game, both sides, lots of turnovers. Didn't seem like there was a whole lot of offensive flow. When did you feel like things started to change in the first half?
I can speak on that one. I think when our coach told us to be dominant, we could tell, the opponent kind of was letting us get those threes off or letting us shoot it. So he was saying that our game plan, we got to stick to it and make sure that we're getting paint touches like we always do and kind of not steering away from that. And I think that's when we were successful offensively.
I would say personally, Coach always talks about our offense will fall and come to us. We just have to play defense. So I think really sticking to the defensive side allowed the offense to finally come to us.
Yeah, adding to them, I think that just being dominant on defense helped out, and then not rushing as much on our offensive flow.
All right, any questions for Coach or the athletes? Just raise your hand, let me know.
Hey guys, Coach, we're kind of in uncharted territory right now, just coming this far. How do you keep your girls so level-headed and just to stick to the game plan and take it game by game?
Well, we humble them pretty easy,
Every day,
but
all day.
they understand that everything is earned, right? Nothing's given. They do a tremendous job of putting in the work every day. If you ever had a chance to come to our practice, you'd think we were playing in a game like this. It gets pretty intense, and sometimes we have to reel it back, but they just understand the moment. One of the things that's kind of cool about this team is that even when we're in games, they never kind of look ahead. They always talk about just what's in front of us, right? We can talk and joke with them and try to see if they'll talk about the next opponent, and they won't. They'll get solely focused on whoever's in front of us. We don't have to ask them to watch film. They kind of do those things on their own, and so they're always prepared. They set some goals at the beginning of the year. We have our annual beach trip, and we went out there, and they set some goals, and so as a coach, it's pretty cool to watch them manifest those things and make sure that they happen. They've gotten pretty much everything so far, and then after today, they'll get an opportunity to check off that last one.
Ladies, like you guys always say, the motto is prove it. And right now you guys are continuing to prove it every game. But, how are the emotions right now? How do you guys feel finally getting to that national championship game? Obviously, it's still not unfinished business, but what are your emotions going into this next game?
I think, as you can tell, I'm very emotional about getting to this moment. I think, being at Dominguez for these last 5 years has been the greatest experience of my life. And being able to kind of just see this whole thing kind of unfold is an amazing experience. So I'm overly overjoyed. I think, that last possession when I got that and one, and knowing that we were going to get that win, it was so emotional for me because my teammates support me. I'm there to support my teammates, and just seeing us put this together and be able to get to the natty, and hopefully, get the dub. I think that's a great experience. So, yeah.
I'd say for me, I'm very, very joyful out there just hooping with the people I love, honestly. But I'm not trying to get too high or too low with any moments, and I'm just trying to get that last check off my list.
Mm-hmm. These two next to me, they've kind of paved a great path, and they've made it a welcoming program for my last year. So just to be able to play with them for these last moments and really soak in everything that, the ultimate goal for the college career is something amazing, and I'll never forget it.
And, obviously you guys are older ones on the team. So, what is the message, Coach, you can add to this too? What is the message to the younger girls on the team to kind of, obviously you guys are towards the end of your career, but what's the message you guys want to pass along to them about kind of just staying in the moment and getting ready to prepare for this last game?
I think even since the beginning of the season, like, never set the bar. Like, keep going past the bar. Like, exceed it every single time. There's no limit on what you can do. And I think once you understand that, like, you'll be fine. So I think just not being able to put a cap on what you're, like, capable of. So I would say that's the thing that I want to give to the younger girls.
Yeah, I'd say for me, I feel like that we have a really talented young group. And I just want them to know that everything is earned, and they're watching us earn everything, whether it's like shoot around, practice, just how hard we go at everything, and just seeing how things can happen if you work hard.
Yeah, I mean, some of our freshmen still play big minutes, and that's an amazing thing to see that when we're gone from this program, I don't think there's going to be a drop down just because of how great they play in practice, and it's really cool to see.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yep.
For the athletes, and then I have a follow-up for Coach. First California team to play in a championship game in 10 years, 2015.
Wow.
Can you just talk a little bit about representing California? As your coach talked about, you know, in the previous press conference, you guys having traveled the furthest, and he
Yeah.
mentioned that as well. Can you just talk a little bit about representing California in a championship game?
I can start with that one. I just think, well, more than just California, representing Dominguez Hills is just a big honor. Dominguez Hills, when I first came here, was like known as like a commuter school, and it kind of still is. But just to know that there is talent on the boys and the women's basketball side, it's just an amazing thing to put DH on the map.
I would say yes, for sure. Representing California, representing Dominguez Hills, representing the Los Angeles County. You know, I stayed local to be able to stay around my family, so it's great to see, like, you know, my mom is actually able to travel here, you know, for the first time being able to fly. So being able to represent us, like, it's an amazing thing because now you're seeing, you know, we're kind of just representing the city, so it's a great experience.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what they said, I just think it's amazing. A lot of West Coast teams, I would say, are kind of underestimated. So the fact that we're here and we're showing everybody that, you know, West is the best as of now, but I'm excited.
As of now.
Okay.
Well, I don't, you know.
Love it.
And then for Coach, you spoke in the last press openly about your faith. Can you talk just a little bit about how your faith has most informed your guidance of these young ladies?
Yeah, I think when you think about just spirituality or any of those things, right, the message is the same across various religions, and that's self-fulfilling prophecy, or you reap what you sow, or, you know, you can kind of read that however you want with a variety of things. And so for me, I just always remember it only takes a mustard seed of faith, right, for something to magnify itself. And then we have a collective group, and when more than one come together, right, good things come from that. And so we don't necessarily put it all out there all the time, but it's something that we all believe in. It's conversations that we'll have in our weekly 10. And so that's just important, right, because when we go through this process, you know, we always want to kind of seek out the prosperity portions of things, right? But we also got to understand that we can cast our burdens and get rid of anxiety or worry or any type of frustration and come out here and just enjoy the things that we've been blessed to do. And so I think that's been a pretty cool experience for us. And yeah, that's kind of where it is for me.
Last question for you, Coach. We just talked about your athletes. Saying, what message do you give to them as they head into a national championship? How do you get them to stay the course? Coaching world's a small world. What messages have people given to you, mentors, other colleagues, about how do you handle it as a coach?
Just to be myself. You know, one of the cool things about my mentors is that they've had a lot of belief in me from the beginning. You know, even when I was a volunteer, a lot of people put time into me. And so I think the only requirement that they asked me to do was to pass that along to other coaches as well as our players. And I just tell our players just to be us, right? We don't go into any game. We don't switch anything up. Our practice is so hard. I think even I was like, man, we ran a lot the other day after a game, right, just to kind of prepare. But we're going to continue to be ourselves. This is what has made us special, is that we don't have to defer or change anything about our approach. And so it's been pretty cool to see us just put in the work and reap the benefits of that.
Well, it'll be fun to see you again in 2 days when you're playing for a national championship here in Cooper Fieldhouse. Congratulations, thank you, and we'll see you all then.
Thank you so much.